It does not matter what kind of difficulties you are facing, it matters how you respond to them. Imagine this: a world where you can stay calm and collected no matter how crazy things are going on around you. You have entered the world of Stoicism. This old philosophy, which started in the busy markets of Athens more than 2,000 years ago, is more than just a bunch of academic ideas. It gives a useful guide for living, a set of tools for dealing with life's ups and downs with grace and balance. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot change what happens to us, but we can change how we react to it. It tells us to pay attention to what we can change and let go of what we can't. It is about learning to accept life as it is, not as we would like it to be. It is about finding peace in the middle of chaos and calm when things go wrong. Stoicism, at its core, is not about hiding your feelings or acting like you do not care. Instead, it is about knowing how to understand and deal with them. In a nutshell, Stoicism gives you the tools to be in charge of how you respond to whatever life throws at you. Now, think about how Stoicism could help you deal with tough people. Does not it sound interesting? In the great play of life, we all meet a lot of different people. Some are happy and friendly, some are sad, and some can be pretty hard to deal with. But this is where Stoicism can help. It is a theory that is based on understanding and wisdom. Stoicism tells us to pay attention to what we can change and let go of what we can't. When it comes to working with difficult people, this means that we should not let their words, actions, or behavior disturb our peace of mind. It is about realizing that their behaviors come from their own problems and not from ours. Think about this. When people are being hard, it is often because they are going through something we do not fully understand. They might be having a bad day, be stressed out, or be fighting their own problems. Their behavior toward us is just the outside sign of what is going on inside of them. But the beauty of Stoicism is in how easy it is to understand. It shows us that we cannot control what other people do. We cannot change how they feel, what they say, or how they act. We can only control how we respond to them, though. We can choose to react with kindness and understanding, or we can let their actions make us feel bad. Imagine how freeing it is to know that no one can ruin your day unless you give them permission to. That you have the ability to keep your peace and happiness no matter what other people do. That is how Stoicism works. So, the next time you meet a hard person, know that you are in charge. You can let their actions bother you, or you can treat them with patience, understanding, and kindness. And by doing that, you protect your peace of mind and show how strong you are as a person. Stoicism is not about trying to change other people. It is about changing who we are, how we act, and how we see things. And as a result, we get better, stronger, and more able to handle hard things. Do not forget that you cannot control other people, but you can control how you respond to them. So how exactly can you control your reactions? Let us learn more about that. In the great play of life, we often have to respond to what is going on in front of us. But what if I told you, my dear friend, that you have control over how you react? It is quite a shock, is not it? Now, let us figure out how to do exactly that. To control your responses, you need to first understand the idea of response delay. Imagine that you are a pool of water and that each event or contact is a pebble that gets thrown into that pool. Your response is like the waves that spread out from where something hits. Now think about what would happen if you could stop those waves, even for a moment. That, my friends, is called a delay in reaction. It is the short break you give yourself before you act, the time you give yourself to think about what is going on and choose the best way to respond. Response delay is not about holding back your feelings. It is about giving yourself time. Time to think, time to reflect, and, most importantly, time to decide how you want to act instead of letting the situation decide for you. It is about staying calm and collected in the middle of a storm, not by avoiding it, but by making your way through it with ease and poise. Think of a time when you did something right away and did not wait. Was your response helpful? Did it bring about something good? Most of the time, no is the answer. Instant responses are often rash and out of control, and they can lead to bad results. You can change this story if you practice reaction delay. Now, how do you exactly practice reaction delay? Start by taking baby steps. When you feel an emotional rush coming on, stop and take a deep breath. Think, what is the best way for me to reply? Just taking a moment to stop and think can make a huge difference. By being in charge of how you respond, you are in effect in charge of how you feel. You are taking charge of your life and guiding yourself toward a calmer, more peaceful one. Remember that you have the power to control how you act, and with practice, you can learn to do it. Another important part of Stoicism is changing the way you look at things. Let us look at some ways to do that. Stoicism is beautiful because it is simple, and one of the simplest but most important things it tells you to do is to change your viewpoint. This is not about ignoring reality or making the hard facts of life sound better. Instead, it has to do with changing the way we look at the world around us. When we run into hard to get along with people, it is easy to act badly and let rage or anger cloud our judgment. But Stoicism tells us to step back and change how we look at things. Can we, for example, see these people not as hard, but as masters who teach us how to be patient, understanding, or strong? Can we think that, like us, they are shaped by their experiences and situations, and that their actions, no matter how hard to understand, come from them trying to deal with life as they know it? This change in viewpoint is not meant to excuse bad behavior or let people off the hook. It is about learning to care about other people and realizing that everyone has their own problems and that their behaviors are often a result of those problems. This understanding can help people get along better and have less fights. Start by asking yourself why you felt the way you did at first. What is making you sad? What ideas do you have about what the other person wants? Could there be a different way to look at what they did? Next, try to see things from their point of view. No two people have the same view of the world. By trying to see things from their point of view, you might learn more about why they do what they do. Then, tell yourself that everything will change. This setting, this person and your feelings are all only going to last for a short time. Even this will end. And finally, pay attention to what you can change. You cannot change what other people do, but you can change how you respond to what they do. You can react with patience and understanding instead of anger and irritation. You can change your world by changing the way you see it. The world may stay the same, but if you change how you look at it, you can completely change how you feel about it. Lastly, let us talk about how important acceptance is. Stoicism is based on accepting what is. It is a hard idea to understand at first, but once we do, it opens up a whole new world of peace and balance. In the world of Stoicism, accepting things as they are is the key to a life without stress. It is not about being passive or accepting your fate. Instead, it is about learning how things and people work and changing based on what you learn. When we talk about how to deal with hard people, the acceptance concept becomes even more important. We need to remember that everyone has their own ideas, views, and ways of acting. These come from what they have been through, what they have struggled with, and what they have done well. And just as we are allowed to have our own ideas, so are they, Accepting someone does not mean we agree with them or approve of what they do. Instead, it means that we recognize how different people are and how many different points of view there are in the world. We know that everyone is different, and that is not only fine, but also normal. You might be thinking how acceptance makes stress and conflict go away. Well, we stop trying to change people when we accept that they are different. We stop fighting pointless fights of wills and put our energy into things we can control instead. By doing this, we break free of the chains of anger and rage. We stop being held captive by our own standards and start making peace for ourselves. We learn to move through the sea of human differences with grace and respect, avoiding conflicts that do not need to happen. But acceptance is about more than just dealing with hard people. It is about accepting life for what it is, with all its flaws and surprises. It is about accepting the ups and downs of life and finding peace in the middle of chaos. To sum up, acceptance is like a healing balm for the soul in Stoicism. It makes the hard parts of life a little bit easier to handle and a little bit more beautiful. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means understanding and going on. So, what have we learned about Stoicism and how to deal with people who are hard to get along with? We have looked at the basic ideas of Stoicism and seen how they can help us deal with the difficulties of life. We have learned that Stoicism gives us the tools we need to deal with hard people, not by changing them, but by controlling how we respond to them. We talked about how to change our point of view so that we do not see things as good or bad, but just as they are. We talked more about the idea of acceptance and how it is okay that we cannot control everything. As we have seen, the most important part of Stoicism is to understand and accept this fact. Stoicism shows us that our peace and happiness depend on how we respond, how we see things, and how we deal with the inevitable uncertainties of life. It is a strong idea that can help us live better, less stressful lives. Remember that Stoicism is not about changing other people, but about changing how you respond to them. It is about finding peace inside yourself, even when chaos is going on around you. We will learn more about Stoicism and other ideas that can help you deal with the ups and downs of life. Leave a comment below if you have any thoughts or want us to talk about a certain subject. Also, send this movie to anyone you think could learn something from the Stoic ideas. Remember that getting better is not a one-person job. Together, we learn, grow, and do well. So let us keep going together on this path to self-improvement and wisdom. Are you interested in finding out more about Stoicism? You can get our free ebook on how to live a happy life by clicking on the link in the saved comments. If you felt like you understood something or got a spark of energy from these ideas, do not keep it to yourself. Try to get involved in this group as much as you can. Click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and give the video a thumbs up. Let us not just go through life, but dive into it and look for all the lessons and joys it has to offer.